KissFM Abuja, and you're tuned in and listening to your favorite radio program, Chicks. Chicks is that show where women get to sit and talk about things that they're passionate about and generally just air their views on trending and important issues. My name is Uju. It's a pleasure to be on the show with you today. And as usual, I'm not alone in the studio. I've got my crew. And in fact, there's an oldie but goodie with us in the studio. All right, so let me start with Bill. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Uju. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And we have Ngozi, the one and only.
Hello, Abuja.
Oh, wow. Okay, so if you've been with us and Chicks for a while, you remember the one with the signature laugh. That is Ngozi, and I'm sure before the show wraps up, she will be giving us that signature laugh. I think we should, what's the word now? We should copyright it or patent the laugh. Anyway,
Please
so,
don't make me do it. Not
please,
at this time.
You won't. You won't. Okay, so today we have a very special guest in the studio with us. He's an IT consultant and who has done amazingly well for himself, despite what you might be wondering. I'll let you know in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Victor Ekweme, an IT consultant who lost his sight in 2012 to a rare eye condition. And we're going to be hearing all about it straight from his mouth. Hello, Victor.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we know that there are a handful of people who have achieved great feats despite having one disability or the other. Okay, but we want to hear from you precisely how you got to this point. According to your story, you lost your sight in 2012. Tell us where this all started from.
Okay, so I have a rare disease called retinitis pigmentosa. It is a rare disease that attacks the retina and it gradually deteriorates the eyesight as you get older.
Okay.
So while I was younger, I could see, I could run around like a normal child, until when the thing, I couldn't see at night actually.
Okay.
So it was difficult for me seeing at night, locating where things were. But I attended school like every other person. I went to University of Lagos. I studied computer science over there. So I traveled abroad. I did my master's in IT at University of Nottingham. And then I did intelligent computational systems. That's University of Dundee. And so in 2011, when I came back, that is when it all started. My eyesight deteriorated to a level that it got to a point where I needed somebody to hold me and guide me around and all of that. So I didn't really lose my total vision. I am partially sighted. Yes.
Okay.
I am partially sighted. I can still see a bit of things, but it's just looking through a kind of magnifying glass, so to speak, like a kind of it's just really limited. It's like tunnel vision basically. So if I want to see something, I have to turn to that direction in order to see it, that kind of thing. So it really slowed down my productivity at work. It got to a point whereby I couldn't actually see from the screen anymore. I couldn't read from printed paper anymore. It was as if my life started crashing, in front of my very eyes, exactly. So it kind of caused a whole lot. I wasn't, as I said, I wasn't as productive as before. So I was actually advised to resign, because even it was their first time, the employers, it was their first time even having that kind of situation at hand. So they didn't know how to deal with it. And so with that, I fell into depression. And then after that, it took a year before I had to come up and deal with it and start to regain my skills again, gain my programming skills. Okay. So that's where I am today.
Okay, so between discovering that from not being able to see very clearly at night to not being able to see at all to being helped to this point where you are now, which you described as like a tunnel vision, yes?
Yes.
And then drop in your productivity, which affected your emotions and all of that. Okay, so what was it like? All of a sudden, I'm able to do all these things by myself, and then I'm needing help for a man, full-grown man. What was it like, honestly?
It's undescribable. It's
Okay.
something that I don't even wish it for my enemies, really,
Okay.
because it's something that is, as I said before, was just like things were just crashing down before me, and I didn't know what to do. I really didn't know what to do. I was just at home doing nothing. As in, when I left the company, I was just at home doing nothing, literally doing nothing. I didn't know, what to do. So eventually, as Christians, you go, visit places, you go to see doctors. I traveled abroad, went to Turkey, did some, went for medical, some processes like this, diagnostics and all of that. But for the cure, there's no cure for it. I'm sorry, there's no cure for it, basically.
Okay.
So it's because it's so rare, not many people have it. There's really no cure for the disease. So when you go to different places, America, the UK, there's really no cure for it. So when I went back to London in 2013, the doctor actually said at Moorfield Hospital that it would take till 2020, hopefully, before they can get the cure. And some cures are some things nearing kind of that which is similar to a cure coming out. Retina transplants have started coming out.
Okay.
Genetic engineering or something like that is trying to come out to
Okay.
try and lessen the situation, alleviate the situation. But it's basically a daunting thing for the doctors and researchers in order to try and solve the problem.
Okay.
It's a bit of a conundrum.
All right. So how was family able to cope with having to have with you having to depend on them? Did you have that support system at all, or
Oh yes, I did. I had a very good. My father was. I mean, he's. I thank God for having him around.
Okay.
My mother was a strong pillar, but she's passed away now.
Okay.
But she was a strong pillar when she was alive, and everything that I needed, they catered for me. But just like when you're going through a depression, and in that state, is like the whole environment is sucked away. So everybody is like nobody knows what to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that situation, it was quite difficult. They come in, they're like, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Are they asking you, or they're asking
No,
themselves?
they're asking
now?
themselves. It was like,
Okay.
pondering, what are they going to do, because really 85% of our observation is visual.
Yes, true.
So that's a big problem. But then I noticed, that most of your other senses heighten. Your hearing heightens.
Okay.
Your sense of touch heightens. Your sense of smell heightens. Especially the hearing, because I really need the hearing more than other things. So that heightens to some things out here and be like, what's this? Yeah, I heard it. Like, now I can hear it. Okay, that kind of thing. And so with that in mind, I had to now look within and say, okay, do you know what? This is something that I have to try and go out for myself, try and be more independent, because if they love you so much, they actually, because of the love, they restrict you a lot as well.
Oh, okay.
And they're not doing it out of spite or anything. It's just love, and they're just trying to protect.
Okay.
So I had to actually, barge out and say, no, I can do it. Some things that, like last time I went to England, I traveled alone. Yes, I did.
Wow.
And so it was like, no, you can't go. It was like 6 months until I had to tell, I can do this. And when I did it, and they're like, okay, yes, we can see that you can. I stayed for 2 weeks in a hotel. The hotel staff was beautiful. I came, I did everything myself.
Wow. Okay. Now, you mentioned being a Christian earlier. We're going to ask how your faith helped you practically now, not just, oh, okay, well, God was good. How did it come to play practically? But that you will tell us right after we return from this break. Don't touch it out, don't go away. Chicks will be right back. And we're back. All right, so you're welcome back. It's still Chicks, and I still have my very, very special guest. And he is proof, he's physical proof, he's live proof that you can do anything if you set your heart to it. Victor Ikreme, an IT consultant who started losing his sight. I don't know, is that the right way to say it? In 2012 to a rare eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa. Okay, and right now he's still an IT consultant, and some of us have eyes and we're not doing anything. So, the unique thing is that you weren't born blind. You didn't go blind as a child. This happened as a full-grown adult, and you've already described how it was a depressing time for you and how your family came to play. Talk to us about faith. Did it help in any way? Did it come to play for you, your faith?
I would say my faith actually heightened because sometimes before you're growing up as a guy, you're just lackadaisical with some things. Yes, you go to church every Sunday, but that's every Sunday. After that, you go home and do your thing and all of that. But then after that, I said, okay, I need to be closer to God. So I started reading my Bible. I read my Bible non-stop every day. Since 2012, I've read the Bible cover to cover. I do that every year without fail. So I love reading the Word and stuff like that. Going to people want to see me healed, right? So they take me to different churches and all of that. I have some reservations about that, but yes, I love the fact that I've gotten closer to God and all of that, and what I see is that it's more genuine kind of. I'm not just going because I know God can heal someone. I'm going because this is something genuine. This is now less of a relationship between me and my Creator, so to speak. So that's the way I approach it, right? Because I look at a situation whereby when you read the stories of Jesus, you kind of see a story, a pattern where he says, oh, you just came here because I healed you, I gave you bread. That's not the relationship I want. It's more like, okay, this is a one-on-one relationship and stuff like that. And it has really worked for me.
All right. So, let's talk a little bit about hope. Do you still have somewhere inside you that, either they're going to find a cure, or I'm going to visit one place and bam, it just happened, I regain my sight 100%. Do you have that, or are you like, if it happens, fine. If it doesn't happen, fine. Where are you right now, honestly?
I am still hopeful.
Okay.
I am still hopeful. I am hopeful, and I have the faith that everything has been done, and it's just a matter of time. Basically, I'm hopeful that it could actually be through the medical line, right? Who knows? Because it's not only me that has this. A whole lot of people have this situation, right? Are in this situation, and have this problem. But if it's through healing, then fine. I'm still hopeful. I still go to church. I still pray. I still do all these things, and I also still visit doctors. I still, do anything I can in order to try to alleviate my problems in that regard. So yeah, I'm still hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to find out, have you had any unpleasant experiences from people you meet daily? Has anyone say, okay, no, because of what your condition, I don't want to come close to you, or because of a condition, this and that? Have you had any unpleasant experiences?
I've had plenty of experiences. I've had plenty of experiences, but over time you develop a thick skin for that. And like, what, this is life. These guys have their prejudice to that mindset, right? So it's like, okay, you get a book, you have not read the book yet, you judge a book by its cover. And that's the problem. So a lot of people, it's until they hear me speak, it's until they hear me converse with them, like, oh, okay, this guy is a cool person, But on the onset, when they see me holding a stick or being guided by someone, they try to, they don't want to associate until they meet me, they get closer to me in a more intimate fashion.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask that in light of you being an IT consultant. Yes, you were doing all of that before this happened. So after you picked yourself up 1 year after, the case of depression and all of that, after you picked yourself up, how were you able to get back into the line of the business?
Oh, wow. So it was gradual.
Okay.
So when I got back, so prior to that, I forgot to add that I actually won an award for an app that I created called Hospital Manager, and it fetched me some money. It was sponsored by the U.S. government. Actually, fetched me like $15,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got first prize in the whole of West and Central Africa. That was in 2011. But 2012, when this whole thing is like, so it's like my career is going downhill right now on a slippery slope. And to find myself, I said, okay, do you know what? Now I went into fasting and prayer. And then I now said, you know what? Before you can actually go into fasting and prayer, you have to look within. You look within. When you look within, then you can look up. Right? And then that's what happened. And then so I looked within and I said, you know what? I can do this. Right? And when my mom passed away, actually in 2016 in November, around December, I told myself I will never allow this eyesight get to me again. I will never allow this eyesight get to me again. If I need to read, I'll get somebody to read for me. If I need to see, I'll get somebody to see for me, right? And so I got somebody to read some IT books for me. I was built on regenerating my skill set, my career. Right, and so this happened in 2016, as I said before, and so I started learning new things, learning about Python programming. One thing about depression is that you forget what you've learned. Everything just but the brain has a way of storing things, and then because of relearning these things, the retention, everything just came back into mind, right? And so I learned how to do so many things as well. I learned how to do mental arithmetic, so I don't really need a calculator to add things or subtract. Really? I learned how to memorize a whole lot of. I was doing something yesterday. I came for a conference. I was doing something. I memorized 100 digits of pi for one guy.
Wow!
And so like, how did you get it? It's just basically dedication and practice, calculating days of the week, and I do the trick for it. Like, you can give me any date of the year, for example. I'll tell you whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I do that trick a lot. They're like, oh wow, you're really smart. Just calculation.
Can I try something?
Yeah, you can try.
Okay, so let's try 14th May 1981.
Hang on, let me pull out the calendar.
I already know the day of the week it is, but just to confirm. Okay, so go ahead, pull up 14th May 1981.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
14th May 1981.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay. Would you give me 2 or 3 tries? But was that on a Thursday?
What? First try. So confirm.
Wait. 1984.
81. It is a Thursday.
What, May?
Yes.
May
it is
what?
a Thursday. 14th.
Oh, come on.
It's a Thursday, yes?
Oh, come
it's
on.
a Thursday. Wow. Okay.
First try.
Oh, no.
Wow. So how does that work? I don't know how it works.
Totally won't finish right.
Oh
Wow.
my
Awesome.
goodness.
Okay. You have to write a book or something about so that we all can understand.
Yeah.
It took you a few seconds.
Wow.
Took her an app, a phone, and
That's
about 3
right.
minutes to be able to get it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have an idea of what mental improvement you had to do to be able to compensate, if I may use that word.
That's the correct word.
Okay, good. To be able to compensate for the loss. Okay, so how about having, because you're an IT consultant, do you approach companies? Do they come to you? And do they at any point in time need to know that this is the situation on ground with you in the process of negotiations and stuff?
Okay, so actually, I work for someone. So I work for a company called Super Digital Highway.
Okay.
right? And I was employed there by the MD, CEO. I've actually he's someone I knew since 2000, since my days at Unilag. But he's an older person than I am, so he knew my expertise before it happened.
Okay.
So he was like, okay, I should come on board. He'll be patient and all of that. So I thank God for him actually, because not many employers would be so
patient.
Yeah, patient,
Okay.
you know, and all of that, benevolence and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's how I got into it, and going to work. It gave me a sense of being wanted back into society, like just put like that, yeah, purpose and all of that, you know, and with that, that's when I now started doing some home things at home, whereby I'll get somebody to read for me when I come back from work at 6 o'clock. And then when I get to work, they actually got an intern for someone to help me read the computer, you know, until this intern came across something called screen readers.
Okay.
And so these screen readers enable me to do my work more efficiently. So they read out what's on the screen for me. And so I can now program better, right? Software and all of that is better. It's only sometimes if I want to see like the design of where things are, that's when I need help, and they have to assist me with that exactly. And then again, if let's say I'm doing something like graphical with the data like bar charts or line graphs, so that the thing is correct, I'll just tell them, okay, what do you see? Can you use my finger on the screen to trace where the line is? Then I know whether it's correct from what I've written, what I've coded, programmed in the system, that okay, this line graph isn't what I told the computer to do, or what I intended the computer to do. So all these kind of errors would be fixed once that happens. So each time they have to trace my hand on the screen to know what is happening and all those kind of things. So that's how I work presently. I'm trying to look for more efficient ways to do that, but it's a bit difficult. But I mean, it's nothing that we can't circumvent or handle.
Okay. Talking about Braille, we will talk about Braille when we return from this very short break. I know that you're itchy to call. You can only send your WhatsApp messages to 090300899. Don't go away. Chicks will be right back, and Mr. Victor is still here. Do you have questions, girl? Now you have questions. All right, you're welcome back. Still tuned in and listening to Chicks, and we have a special guest, and it's a special edition. Beyond just sharing his story, Mr. Victor is here to also let each and every one of us know that it's anything we call or consider a limitation is only a limitation if we allow it. We're talking with Mr. Victor Ekweme, an IT consultant, and not just your regular IT consultant. He's currently living with an what now? English, Abuja. He's currently living with an eye condition. Yes, if I may use that word. It's very long. I don't want to mispronounce it. And it started in 2012. But regardless of all the emotional back and forth that he's been through, he has picked himself up and he is currently working. So before I continue asking him questions, my question to you is, what is your own limitation? Are you letting it keep you down, or are you getting back up and, you know, giving life as it gives you back? You know, that kind of thing, like going for it, whatever the situation may be. Okay, so Ngozi has a question, finally.
Well,
Yes.
more like I'm just curious. How do you type on the computer? How do you dictate and then it does what you need it to do? Or I'm just curious how you key in your data, for instance.
Okay, so I grew up with computers in my house. My dad had a desktop publishing company.
Okay.
Right, and so he used to have so many computers in the house, and so when he's not using one of them, I'll go and start typing. So this was when I was like 8, 9. So one of his personal assistants taught me how to type since I was 8 or 9. Then he taught me how to, and this was during the time of DOS. You know, then he taught me how to use the command line. He taught me how to write commands and stuff before all these graphical user interfaces started coming out. And so that's when I started learning how to code a bit. Yeah, well, a bit. Still a bit young then.
Okay.
But at least I knew how to type from, let's say, 9, 10. To the fact that when my mom, my dad, they're professors, at the University of Lagos, they will hand me their papers to type for them. And then my mom, for example, she would tell me, okay, type, she needs this before tomorrow morning. And it's like 10 p.m. the night before. And so that enhanced my typing. So I'll just be typing, and if there are corrections in the morning, we'll correct it and then give it back to her, and then we'll go and she'll submit the paper or whatever.
Okay, so that skill came in handy, or has come in handy
That's come
now?
in handy, yes.
Okay.
So you know where all the keyboards are, more or
Yes.
less.
And also, if you notice, if you look on the keyboard, the F and J have this bump on it.
Yes.
So that's the home. That's for visually impaired or non-sighted
okay.
people to know that this is where the home keys are. That's where it starts from. And then on this side, or the right side of the keyboard, where you have the numbers, the 5 also has the bump.
Yeah.
So if you also on ATMs, POSs, that's how partially sighted, non-sighted people know that is a 5. So they can put in their pins around there. Because once you know where the 5 is, you can navigate your way around.
Yes.
So
Wow, that's quite interesting. I did notice that. All right, so let's talk about Braille. Seeing as this happened when you were a full-grown adult, you had never had any reason to learn Braille before. Do you understand Braille and do you use it?
So one of the things that when all this, as I said before, the life is sucked out of you. Nobody knows what's Someone told me about a school in Braille in Lagos. Around the Yaba area. So I said, oh, okay, let me go and learn the Braille because I need to do something. And so I went and I met with some guys, very intelligent guys who can say. And before I say that story, I've just realized, you realize that your brain is very, very, you can actually enhance your brain. So when you use Braille, you're enhancing the side of the brain that uses touch. So that side of the brain develops. So they're very tactile. Non-sighted guys are very, very tactile. Things that you won't notice with your fingers and with they notice it, right? And so so the guy taught me how to use Braille, and they read it so fast with their fingers. I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing, And it took me some time, and they told me stories of how, even I think there was a lawyer who eventually became blind, and he actually had to learn how to use Braille. But then with me, they said for me that because I already knew how to use a computer, I should use an application like a screen reader, for example, to assist me in reading. So they didn't really teach me Braille to the level of normal Braille user. So I just know very little. Actually, I've forgotten because I haven't used it in this is 2015, 16. I haven't used it in a while. So So even at the time when I traveled to England, my story, they brought a sheet that had Braille for me to read. I was like, you have to read it. I don't understand Braille.
Okay. All right. So because we know that that's usually the first go-to for somebody who is either partially or non-sighted. So that's why we had to ask that question. All right, for somebody out there who's listening and who's feeling like, okay, maybe I lost a limb or maybe my sight or whatever it is, from your own experiences, how, if you were to meet such a person, I'm sure we have maybe a handful of them listening right now, what would you say to them that would make sense, that someone like me who hasn't, gone through what they're going through would say that? Do you understand my question? Because I don't know.
Yes. No, because it's I met one guy and he told me actually I was at a function and it was sponsored by Microsoft, and so I met with actually the ambassador, the US ambassador, and he bumped into me deliberately. And I'm like, hello. I'm like, oh, hi. He said, do I still code? I said, yes, I still do, but not as fast as I used to. He said, do I still inspire? And I said, yes, I do. He said, keep on inspiring. And so I always tell people that you need to have a sense of purpose, right? Because with sitting at home and doing nothing, you tend not to you're receding basically. You need to be moving forward, right? And so for me, because everybody's different, but for me, what happened to me is I listened to a whole lot of guys like Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, John Maxwell, different guys that could uplift my spirit, that kind of thing. Reading the Bible was another one. So different things that uplifted my spirit. So have a sense of purpose. That's the first thing. Second thing is create a sense of self-confidence, right? Have that self-confidence to say, you know what, I can do it. I can do it. Last, they'll just say no. Right? Everyone just say no. You go, but at least you tried. Right? Then have a sense of enthusiasm. You have to be happy, and that happiness is from you, right? If people don't understand it, that's their problem, not yours, right? And so have that sense of happiness, right? Enthusiasm, inner enthusiasm, not outer ones, right? Next one is always have like a level of expertise, right? Try and build something that you're good with that would derive you value into society, so that when you get income or money from that, you are a bit. Then the enthusiasm comes as well, right? So have that level of expertise, have that level of being self-reliant, right? Being self-reliant, address your image, have a sense of character, be self-disciplined, and be an extraordinary person.
Yeah, so that's the icing on the cake. Okay, thank you so much, Victor Ekweme, for coming in on Chicks today. You have inspired us because, as you were talking, so the wheels in my brain are turning and I'm asking myself, okay, so you can do this, you can do that, you can do that. You surely cannot calculate the day of the year, 30-something years ago, the day of the week, for a date of almost 38, 39. Years ago and all of that. I'm still going to figure out how you did it. Yes, I'm just telling you. Thank you so much. You have inspired us, and I know that you have inspired somebody who is listening to know that it's only a limit if you let it.
Yes.
It's only a limit if you let it. So, like I asked you when you came in earlier, are we expecting a book soon?
Oh yes, we are. And some other things that I don't want to divulge.
Okay, please, we need to put it, in a book so that people can read about you and can get inspired, so that your book can get to places where you probably will not be able to get to because of time limitation. So once again, thank you so much for coming on Chicks. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ngozi.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to you too for our... Will I call you a cameraman now? Anyway, so my name is Uju, and it's been an utmost pleasure sharing the afternoon with Victor Ekweme. And you also, who's been listening to us at home, join us again tomorrow for another interesting edition of Chicks. In the meantime, keep yourself inspired. This is Waji with So Inspired. Good afternoon.
Yes.
How readable is it?